with a median salary. Now, this is the average salary that people think barbers make. So it's actually estimated that the median pay for barbers, hairstylists, cosmetologists is about $26,270 per year. That's false.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Wait a minute, work hard for the car, so that's why it's all tinted.
What's up? What's going on? And welcome back to another episode of Boss Moves the Podcast. I am your host, DB Clips. And today we have a guest. Well, she's actually really not a guest. She's actually a part of the podcast crew. She's more so behind the scenes, doing all our BTS stuff. But yeah, she's behind the scenes with our audio and video as well. I mentioned her name a few times on the podcast, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this individual, she's been with me. Not only is she kind of like the behind the scenes kind of video, audio engineer, I guess you would say, but she's also a barber here in the barbershop. And yeah, I couldn't be happy to have her. And yes, I just want to introduce Miss Tyshema Williams. How you feeling?
Nervous.
Nervous?
Very nervous.
Why?
Because I'm shy.
Definitely not shy.
I am very shy.
Definitely not shy. Not when me knowing you, no, not shy.
I'm very shy. I got to get comfortable. So this is right here. This is not in my comfort zone.
You like to be behind the cameras instead of in front of the cameras.
I like to be unknown.
I got you. I mean, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah,
It's cool.
I like to be unknown.
So yeah, I mean, this episode is pretty much we're gonna be diving into the barber industry. Like I said, Shima is a barber here in the barbershop, and we've had a lot of different conversations about just barbering in general. Now, Shima actually is a cosmetologist. So, and I don't even think I've ever even asked you this, or it's going to be one of the questions I'm going to ask you, but as far as you've been a cosmetologist, I have a couple questions on that and kind of why you chose that route of being a cosmetologist. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and just dive into these questions. And yeah, we're going to get rolling. You know what? Actually, I'll take that back. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to educate you guys a little bit on the history of barbering, because I feel like a lot of people don't know the history of barbering and how important a barber is in society. So I got a few pretty much just kind of notes that I kind of wrote down about the history of barbering, some stuff that we learned when I was in barber school coming up. And but yeah, just want to share this with you guys. So this is the history of barbering. And I'm gonna ask you this question, since you didn't go to barber school, but you went to cosmetology school. So, or it's not really a question, but it's a statement. So, did you know that barbering is actually one of the two oldest professions
No.
in history?
No.
Can you guess what the other one is?
The oldest?
It's literally two of the oldest. Two of the oldest.
I don't know.
You don't know? It's
Okay.
barbering and prostitution.
Like, I would have guessed that.
I mean, it is. I mean, like, that's literally the two oldest professions. You know what I mean? Obviously, one is legal, one is illegal,
Right.
depending on where you at. But why barbering is important, right? So the first barbering service was performed by the Egyptians in 5000 BC with instruments they had made from oyster shells or sharpened flint. So in ancient Egyptian culture, barbers were highly respected individuals. Priests and men of medicine are the earliest recorded examples of barbers. So obviously, you guys, it said that barbers were pretty, highly respected. So and important. So I like to reference that. I like to reference that in today's time, because your barber is important, like very important. Your barber is very important, and it it kind of trips me out a lot of times, because I feel like, I mean, and you can kind of, I guess maybe kind of attest to this, but I feel like in today's time, barbers are kind of looked down on. Like, it's kind of like some people know that barbers are really needed, but others are like, you just a barber. Like,
Yeah.
most people be like, wow, you didn't go to college, you just went to the barbershop, or you just got out of
Went to
prison,
school, yeah,
you learned how to
just
cut
went
hair in
to-
prison, and it's just like yo, like this is an art, this is a craft, you know what I mean? And I just feel like people don't really take advantage of that. You know
They
what I'm saying?
don't.
Like, or they don't take it into consideration.
Cause you can't come do our job.
That's facts. You can try.
Yeah. Not on the first day. Not on the first week. Not on the first month. You can't just come and do that.
Nah.
It takes time.
Even an artist, I would say, like, even an artist, somebody that literally draws with a pencil, it would still take them, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe 4 months to actually understand clippers, like, and how clippers work. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean that's something that I wanted to share. So as far as the barber pole, this is some more history. As far as the barber pole is a symbol of the barbershop. Not sure if you knew that or not, because like I said, I'm sure you knew that, but
I don't know the history of
I'm
it.
pretty sure you don't really understand like what the colors mean and everything.
I don't.
So okay, so that's the thing. So this is kind of the difference between her going to cosmetology school and us, myself going to barber school. So we're gonna educate Shima a little bit right here. So
Yeah, because I
all right, so
look it up.
so the red and white stripes of the barber pole originated from the practice known as bloodletting, right? So this was one of the nastier aspects of the barber history, which this practice involved drawing blood from the patient in an attempt to cure them of a disease or infection, right? So, in other words, barbers were considered to be almost like, essentially almost like a surgeon
Yeah.
back then. You know what I mean? So, and then later, the blue stripe was added to differentiate barbers from actual doctors. And then barbers would obviously place the barber pole outside of the barber shop
Yeah.
to let people know that they were open. So that's kind of
makes sense.
some history, you know what I'm saying, of the barber, how barber got started, and pretty much like the barbershop in itself and like the barber pole. Because a lot of people don't know. A lot of people see red, white, and blue, so they think it's probably got something to do with America or something like that. But
Yeah.
they definitely don't. They definitely don't. Which that was when we was in school, we learned about that. Like it was very interesting. It was very interesting because I had no idea.
Me neither.
So moving on. All right. So we got some facts and stats. About barbering that I feel like a lot of people don't know about. A lot of people think that barbers, we just provide services as a pastime, more so, and like barbers don't really make no money, and yeah, I mean I done heard a whole lot of different.
They think we real rich now.
Well. Okay, so keep that thought in mind. Right. Okay. So facts and stats. All right. The barbershop industry in the U.S. has grown by 1.8% to reach revenue of $5 billion. Now this was as of 2021.
Okay.
So you already know we well over there for 2024. And as of 2021, also there were approximately 41,340 barbershops within the United States, meaning that there is an estimated number of 90,924 barbers in the U.S. with a median salary. Now, this is the average salary that people think barbers make. So it's actually estimated that the median pay for barbers, hairstylists, cosmetologists is about $26,270 per year. Wow. So
That's about right.
all right, so I just want to speak on that. And then I'll let you kind of speak on it. But that's false. That is very false.
Very, very, very.
I would say that there's a lot of factors that go into it. I think that I know for myself, my very first year cutting hair, I probably made that in 5 months. 5 months, maybe 6 months. Because you gotta understand that's pretty much you kind of you're building clientele.
Yeah.
You're building clientele. Now that's with tips included and all that kind of stuff. The other few things that you got to incorporate as well. It's going to be based upon obviously your skill set. It's going to be based upon customer service. Um, it's going to be based upon how well you market yourself, social media, and then not only that, but it's also going to be based upon your like timing, as far as like how fast you cut hair, depending on if you're like I said, you're pretty much picking up walk-ins. So the faster you can cut, the more walk-ins you'll be able to cut or whatever. So yes, I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that uh, I mean, you think that's kind of, I know you think that it's, or you feel like it's not accurate, but what's your take on the different things that we could say would pretty much kind of alter that?
Like you said, the services you provide. Like you said, I know I made that by 6 months,
Yeah.
because tallying up, like getting for real about it, and actually counting how much I made a year, I was like, whoa,
Yeah. Yeah.
like whoa. But like you say, marketing yourself a little better and social media and all that, you can make way,
Yeah.
way, 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 way more.
Definitely make way more. I mean, I know it's crazy because when you get to a point to where you understand how to build a ticket. That's what I like to call it. Understanding how to build a ticket. Pretty much we say, all right, somebody books an appointment with you, and they want to get the standard haircut, right?
Mm-hmm.
Haircut and beard trim or whatever. But then you start to build a ticket when it's like, okay, you want the razor, or you want hair fibers, or even if you want to add a shampoo,
Yeah.
a shampoo to it. Like that's building a ticket, because each one of those things has a certain value or whatever.
$5 to $10
Yeah,
add
$5 to $10,
up.
and they add up big time. Like
Yeah.
you'll be surprised. So you could we talk about $26,000. Like that $26,000 now goes to, within a year's time, it goes to 50,000 or 60,000, because you're doing that day in and day out.
Yeah.
Like it adds up big time. It definitely adds up big time. I want to kind of dive into your actual experience, or your journey of getting into barbering. Because like I said, I know that you are a cosmetologist. You went to school for cosmetology, but what was your initial thought of the barber industry before you actually came into the barber industry?
It wasn't no thought. Like it just happened, and it was so weird because I always like neat things. Like my uncle used to cut hair. The hood barber.
Barber, yeah,
My
for sure,
aunt,
for
she
sure.
was a cosmetologist. So like my cousin, he was the hood barber. So I always like to. Sometimes my dad used to take me when him and my brother would get a haircut to the house,
Yeah, gotcha.
and I used to love it. But I never thought I'd become a barber until uh, I was working at a group home before I moved to Charlotte, and still never thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys was getting like bald heads, and I was like, So like one day, one of the guys had a Walmart clippers,
Mm-hmm.
and I just
I
like,
think we all done had a pair now. I had a pair for sure.
it was gray and it was bulky too, and it was in the little box, and I unclipped it, and I was like, I'm gonna give him an even all over, and I did it. So I closed it, and I looked it up what was closed and open, and I flipped it around trying to get my shape up, but it wasn't sharp enough. So I was like, that was cool. And then like probably like the next week, my brother was like, "You want to go to cosmetology school? We could do color. We can do razor thing."
Which brother was
My
it?
brother Vaughn.
Okay.
He was
Did
like,
he go?
yeah, it was me, him, his girl, her cousin. We all went together. And at that time, I didn't have no job. I had lost my job, and I had lost my car. So I was like, "Ooh, Lord." I was like, "If you give me a car, I'll go to cosmetology school." And I was like, I guess I'll start cutting hair. And my brother was like, yeah, you can cut the guy's hair. I was like, yeah, you right. So I always told everybody when I finally went, we all went together, and I was like, well, I'm gonna be a barber. Like, I'm gonna just cut the guy's hair. I don't want to do nothing else. Until I got there, and they was like, nah, you got to roast it. And I always was waiting to cause you have different stages.
Right.
So I couldn't wait till you get to the barber stage. And then we got to the barber stage, and we had detachable.
Right.
We got to the barber stage, and it was like, this ain't it.
Yeah.
It was like going up and flicking out, changing the blades on. I was like,
So let me ask you what, because I really want to get a better understanding of cosmetology and exactly how they teach you guys to cut hair, because I'm guessing that you guys more so tap into especially since you said y'all use detachables, but like I'm pretty sure, was there any type of like blending involved, or was it more so like just blending for like a neck taper and that's it?
No, like they would basically do like the fade on the. It was more Caucasian, right?
Got you. On like
So,
the
you got to put it flat to the head, and then you get up there and flick out.
Yeah, bevel out. Yeah.
And I was like, this ain't it. Like I was like, we got more, and we had like 4 weeks of that class, and then they teach you shears. Don't go over the second knuckle, and I'm like, this ain't it. So YouTube it went. Right. That's
so you actually learned how to cut hair.
YouTube 360 Jeezy.
360 Jeezy.
I did
360 Jeezy.
Yes. Shout out to 360.
Shout out Jeezy.
Shout out for sure. He taught my first fade. So I wanted to quit cosmetology school, but I was like, I made a promise to the Lord. I was like, I'm gonna stick it out, and it was actually fun though. Yeah. I ain't like to do the other stuff, but I did it only because I ain't wanted to quit. Yeah. So I finished that, and I
Let me ask you this, because even in barber school, I have some regrets. Do you regret not really taking everything serious that they were teaching you? Because I know on my end, I definitely do. Like, there was a lot of stuff that I really feel like I could be taking advantage of now to build that ticket even the more.
Yes.
Like what we was talking about.
Yes.
Even like I said with it's not that like I know how to color. You know what I mean? I know how to color, but I think it's more so I wish I would have learned, like really owned in and learned how to braid. Like that's a big thing that I really wish that I would have learned, because like now you're doubling your price basically from what you would initially pay for the haircut. So
right.
So what else do you think you wish you would have owned in on while you were there?
Like, they teach you business. I didn't take it serious because all I think was barbering the whole time. So I didn't take the business serious when they was teaching on that. Like braiding, coloring, the facials. I didn't really soak that in because I was ready to leave. Like, I was like, I just want to cut hair. Like, that's it, because it's fun to me. Like, and I wish I would have took those things. And then people thought, like, when I first came here, I don't know if y'all thought, like, I was fresh out of cosmetology school.
I don't think so. I think when you and I sat up front, we had a conversation. I think it was. I don't. For some reason, I don't really remember getting the you having that vibe to where it's like, you fresh, because you didn't really give off that type of energy to where it's like you kind of gave out the energy like you had already been in the barbershop before, like before you came to this barbershop.
Nah, I went to a barbershop. I was there for 3 months, and that wasn't it. So, and the only hairs I was cutting was because when I came here, I was 5 years
removed.
Nah, I had my license for 5 years.
That's what I'm saying. 5 years removed from college.
Oh yeah.
From school.
Yeah, but I just wasn't doing anything.
So that's I think that's the notion that I was kind of getting, was just like, I've been done with cosmetology school. I just wasn't doing anything.
I kept up with it, my license and all that. But like the guys at the group home was like my guinea pigs.
Got you. So you was getting your practice in with them.
Yeah.
While you were while you were also learning from 360 Jeezy.
Yeah.
YouTube.
So like I cannot. I think it's on my iPad. We got an iPad at school, and I think my first fade is on there. And I remember we had 6 guys at the group home.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them was Caucasian, 2 had bald heads, and then the other one, he he was young and he had like a receding hairline. And who was the other one? He was just even all over.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, how am I gonna do this? The only one I really can practice different haircuts on was the one with the receding hairline, which was difficult because the receding hairline, when you first starting, that's hard.
That's tough to deal with for sure.
That's hard to do. So I was like, man. So I never cut the Caucasian's hair though.
Mm-hmm.
I waited like 3 months until we got to, like, I was comfortable with the detachables.
Right.
And I used to give them even all overs until I learned how to really do a fade.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, I got 5 brothers. None of them let me cut their hair, except for Dean. Shout out to Dean. Dean was the only one let me cut his hair. My daddy wouldn't even let me cut his hair.
And he got bald head.
No,
He
he
didn't have
didn't have a bald head at the time. He had like a Nintendo 64 controller. Sorry, Dad. But he used to get this taper, right? And he had this beard. And he was like, you can use a shaver. I was like, yeah, I can use a shaver. I ain't never used a shaver before. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. I can do the razor and all that. He would never cheat on his barber. And then one day I did it. And now I go back and look at them videos when he was playing at them shows. And I was like, that was terrible.
Terrible.
And I'm so glad he went bald.
Terrible, yeah. That's how a lot of, I mean, everybody, you know, we've all been there. Like, I know I have pictures and stuff like that back when I first started cutting hair. And
It
I'm
wasn't
talking about, like, I done left the G1 in there. Like, it's you can literally, like, definitely see it. My brother was the first head that I cut. And you know, it's crazy because how, you know, at that time, like, you could literally study or watch somebody cut hair. You can see, like, oh, that's a fresh fade.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like when you're starting out and you go and cut a head, and it's like you looking at it, and to you, for whatever reason, to you, like, because I guess it's because of what you did, it's like, bro, that's fresh.
But you don't know about the detail. That's what I didn't know. I didn't know about the detail. The fade was nice. It was decent. It could get you by.
You got to polish.
But that, I didn't polish it. And I didn't really know until I started cutting more and more. And Dean had some bad haircuts. I remember I first used the razor on Dean, and I pushed his vertical bar back far. And I was like, my bad. He was like, it's hair, it'll grow back. I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I cut it the next week. And that's what we did. And I told him, I said, when I get on, you can get free haircuts for life.
Free haircuts for life.
And then I ain't never think, I'm for real. I never thought about it.
Yeah.
And then, like, I just said that, just to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And then now it's like, I felt like when I moved up here, I got on. Like, I was able to afford to give my brother free haircut and not miss no money.
That mother moved to the city and turned up.
I in Charlotte. You making all the money in Charlotte now.
She moved to the city and turned up.
They think you rich because you moved to Charlotte.
Yeah.
That's what them country folks feel like.
So what? I know you said that. Yeah, I know your brothers and them. They kind of more so persuaded you to go to cosmetology school.
My brother,
Vaughn. But why didn't you? If you knew that all you want to do was cut hair, why didn't you go to barber school?
I didn't, and because he, like I said, he taught me into like saying I could color and doing all this kind of stuff, and it'd be like an all-in-one. But I didn't really know the details. I didn't know it was different rules. Like you couldn't use a razor without the guard.
Yeah, so until like 2 years ago.
Yeah, you told me about
it.
it.
They changed
I
the
didn't
rule like
even
2 years
know.
ago. It's crazy because cosmetology school and barber school are very similar. Very, very, very similar. The difference is now that you've kind of explained everything on your end about cosmetology school, but from what I understand, the difference is in cosmetology school, they focus more on, you spend a lot more time on roller sets. You spend a lot more time on color. You spend a lot more time on
Perm rods.
different styles and blunt cuts and layered cuts and stacked layered cuts and bobs and you know what I'm saying, like you spend a lot more time on that as opposed to barber school. So y'all spend a lot more time on that and a lot less time on actually learning how to cut hair.
Yeah, the course was shorter than everything else. So
it's just reverse.
So okay, that's what I was gonna say. So how was y'all's?
So if we said that you were going to be in barber school for a year, 9 months of that is going to be you like literally like they showing us how to fade, like blend. They showing us the steps of a fade. Start with your G1. You know what I mean?
Y'all had levered clippers, right?
Yeah, we had levered clippers. So you getting, you starting with your G1, what's going to be a ball fade, whatever, and then you're finding your lowest desired length, which is how low you're going to cut it on the top. You know what I mean? And then from there, you're doing everything in between the middle. And like we learned that. Like we literally, we literally go through every step. Boom, 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 boom. And then you get to a point to where it's just like you kind of come up with your own steps.
Yeah.
So, like, how you see like a lot of people, even like when Fernando was here, you know what I'm saying? He would cut one side of the head first and then kind of go to the other side and cut it. So it's just, but you do that because the biggest thing is mastering the steps of the haircut first. When you master that, you can cut any head, whatever type of hair texture.
Yeah.
And it's like literally, it gets to the point where you almost kind of can do it with your eyes closed because you've done it so many times. But like with Fernando, I know for a fact, like sometimes you get bored doing the same thing over and over. So you just want to switch it up every now and then. That's pretty much all it is. Switch up every now and then. But yeah, I mean, we learned a lot. Color was a big thing too. So even though we spent more time doing barbering, but color was something that they pushed a little more than roller sets. They pushed a little more than doing, the layered cuts and bobs and all that kind of stuff like that, even though, it's necessary, especially when you have women to come in or whatever. But undercuts was a big thing as well. And undercuts didn't really come into, they had kind of like the undercuts back in the day, like in the 90s and stuff like that, the way that they got their hair cut. But like undercuts really didn't come out. I think I finished up I graduated in 2018. Undercuts didn't really come back for real until like the end of 2019.
You graduated barber school in 2018?
Barber school in 2018.
I graduated barber school in 2016.
Yeah. Or you graduated cosmetology school.
I meant cosmetology. My bad.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah. We learned a lot of different stuff. Obviously, how to shampoo, we learned how to do relaxers, all that. So we learned everything that y'all learned. We just didn't spend a whole lot of time on it.
It's the opposite. Because it was more, yours was male dominant, mine was female.
That's pretty much what it is.
That's all.
So, yeah. So, and I know a lot of this story already, but we're going to share it with the viewers. When you first came, you were working a part-time job.
Oh,
and
God.
now this is something entrepreneurs or people that are pursuing entrepreneurship or pursuing to be an independent contractor or whatever you want to call it, however you want to mix it up. But it's okay. It's okay to have a part-time job while you're trying to pursue some type of entrepreneur venture or whatever the case may be. It's okay. But in Shema's case, and we give Shema a hard time about this all the time.
Yeah.
We give Shema a hard time about this all the time. Let them know kind of where you worked, what shift you were working, how was it affecting you while trying to pursue this, pursue a barber career?
So when I moved up here in 2020, right before COVID, like right during COVID, the beginning, me and my brother got a job at Lowe's. And it's crazy. We supposed to went to the same Lowe's. Mm-hmm. He accidentally applied at the wrong one and got accepted. Yeah, they got him a job there. So I got, a job at the other one. So it kind of went that way. I was working third shift.
Graveyard shift.
Yeah. And, I did that for 8 months. And then later on, my nephew passed away. And I went to his mom's house and I seen one of his uncles there, his great uncle. And he was like, my brother was like, my oldest brother, T, he was like, this my little sister, she cut hair in Charlotte. She just moved. So if y'all need a barber, check her out. And he was like, oh, I got a shop for you. And he was like, I go there every week. I'll talk to the owner. And then I think that's when the next week, I came that next week.
Yeah.
Because I was like, dang, I ain't never been out here. And I used to go right there to the bank. And, I contemplated. And DB, he was like, you can start tomorrow. This is a Friday. He was like, you can start tomorrow. I was like, nah. I was trying to put off some time, honestly. I was like, nah, let me start fresh. He was like, you want to start Tuesday? I was like, dang. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I knew I worked every day. I think I got off. I ain't work on Friday nights and Saturday nights. And I was like, I could do this. I didn't plan it all out.
I don't even think you at that time. I don't think you even told me that you was working part time at Lowe's.
For real?
I don't think you did. I think that was like you told me after the fact. I think like when you had started. I think I realized it when I didn't know you were working at Lowe's, but I realized that you was leaving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A little bit early to go do something. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't
trying to get some sleep. I already planned it out. I think I had to be to work at 9, so I was like, if I get off at 4, I could go home, go to sleep, get a couple of hours, and then I started doing that. And every day, y'all, DB would text, you missed 3-4 walk-ins came as soon as you left. I'm like, dang. So I'm start adding it up.
Yeah,
I'm like, dang. And he would text me every day, every single day. And then, like, my body, that thing started taking a toll on me.
You had to do it.
I did it for a month, and that was it. I was like, yo. And you know what really made me quit?
What was that?
Well, I did my 2 weeks notice. But I quit because I added it up, how much I made from the barbershop. And because I came around November, so it was like close to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so we prime time, holiday season.
Yeah, everybody had their clients. Nando came in. We came in at the same time, but he had his clients already. So it was me taking all the walk-ins. So, and I added up how much I was making. It was more than my check for every 2 weeks from Lowe's.
Yeah.
And
one thing about our barbershop here, the way we kind of operate is, for the most part, everybody that's here, we've been here for a while and we've established clientele. So, for a new barber that comes in, it's one of those things to where it's like, look, like we don't
mind giving you somebody.
Yeah, we're gonna feed you. You know what I mean? Like all the walk-ins that come in, like they going to you, and it's up to you to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? To take on that the task of cutting. Like there's gonna have days, when you come in and you might not cut as many heads, but there's gonna be other days when come in, you can be like, dang, bro, like I ain't like I asked for some clientele, but I ain't know it's gonna be like this.
Yeah.
Like to the point where you dog tired whenever you leave work. You know what I'm saying? So, and then it's a really great thing because you're pretty much just training your body. Your body is naturally like just getting in shape to be able to withstand that type of clientele, and the fact of just being booked up. So
yeah,
it's a grind. It's definitely a grind whenever you booked up. Like I think it's more of a mental grind than it is physical a lot of times because you can a lot of times you're looking at your book or you looking at your books or whatever, and it's like, hey, bro, like I done cut. Like and crazy thing, because still to this day, like I have times where I'll be like, if I know it's a day where I'm gonna cut like 19, 20 heads in a day, like I get to like 6, I'm like, man, dang, like I got 13, 14 more. And the thing is, like, I'm grateful. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful. That's what I was talking to one of my other barbers, Johnny, about it. And I was like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely rough. It's rough on your body. It's manual labor, but it's more of a mental thing than anything. But the thing about it is, at the end of the day, you're going to walk out, boy, and them pockets going to be fat. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. I mean, I definitely, to kind of go back to where you were, talking about, working a part-time job, it's crazy because I never coming to the barbershop, I was just all in. And I think for me, I knew the type of money that I could make, because when I came on my visit to this barbershop here, at the time, it wasn't, in all honesty, the barbershop wasn't up to par. Like it wasn't up to par. It was outdated. It needed to be, to kind of a more modern look. But the thing about it was what I saw when I came in here. Like right. I saw people coming in and out. Like I saw the clientele. I saw the, just the busyness of the shop. Like it was people literally coming. I saw the, obviously the fact that it was in a plaza and that we're right here on the border of South Carolina and North Carolina and Carowinds in that area. So I saw the busyness of it, and I was getting ready to have a kid. Mm-hmm. And so I knew for me, I was gonna go all in. And I knew that pretty much what they taught us in barber school is whenever you get out, you need to make sure that if you're gonna go all in, if you're not gonna work part-time or anything like that, get there early, stay there late. You know what I mean? And that was the thing, that was the thing. And so that's what I did. And when I tell you, because like I said, and it happened to me, whenever I came in as the newbie, like the whole appointment setup wasn't really a thing, because mind you, this was 2018, so this is prior to COVID. Mm-hmm. So, COVID kind of made everybody have to be on appointment based. And so it was more so one of those things for me to where when I came in, I'm talking about like people, walk-ins was coming in like 4 and 5 at a time.
I just had a conversation with Reese. I was like, I know it was crazy because
it was crazy.
Like y'all couldn't take no lunch. Mm-mm. It's no lunch. Mm-mm. Versus now we could put a lunch in our schedule. Like you ain't take no lunch, and
I did. Like it would have to be one of those things to where if a walk-in came in, I'd just be like, man, look, just give me 10 minutes, give me 15 minutes, and I'm gonna grab a bite to eat or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'll be right with you. You know what I'm saying? It was that type of deal. But literally, I'm gonna tell you, like it got discouraging. It didn't get discouraging because it's like at the end of the day, like I see dollar signs. You know what I'm saying? Whenever they come in, but at the same time, it's one of those things to where it's like when they come in, it's like, bro, like this 3 heads back to back that I gotta cut. Like I'm talking about back to back to back to back, and it's like, all right, cool. I had started working on my speed and everything, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna knock them out real quick. And then it's like when I get on that last one, I get like 10 minutes from being done on that last one. 2 more walk-ins come in, and I'm like, bro, I'm starving right now. I am starving, and so that's when it's kind of like, all right, I had enough. You know what I mean? The first walk-in that come in or whatever, and it's like, all right, look, man, just I'm gonna grab a bite to eat. You know what I'm saying, real quick. I'm gonna take a bite of this burger, whatever. Which, it's not always the best thing, especially working in the barbershop, because we really don't eat the way that we're supposed to, because we have to eat when we can and eat what we can when we have the opportunity.
I gained so much weight coming here, cause I had lost so much weight working at Lowe's, and I was like, dang, what? Yeah. But I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna tap back in. What you were saying about my part-time, like, it was hard for me to quit.
I know it was.
I'm gonna tell you, like, because it wasn't because I needed the money. It was because what if I fail? Because I just moved up here. And I'm on my own. Me and my brother, we on our own. Yeah. And it was like one of them trust God things. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Lord, if this is what you want me to do, I'm going to do it. And then I was like, okay, God, I'm going to quit. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to need you to hold your end of the bargain.
I need you to make a way, for
sure. And then before I knew it, my clientele had built so crazy. And a year had went by. Mm-hmm. And I was booked up all the time. Yeah. Like, not like Friday, Saturday, because, during the most busiest days. But it's like I felt like I was booked up. For the last 2 years, I felt like I was booked up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. Because people who can't get to me Saturday, they book on Tuesdays. And it was like that. And you know how sometimes your life be moving so fast and you don't realize stuff, and then you forget to thank God. Yeah, for sure. And I was like, ooh, Lord, like, I'm sorry. Because I didn't realize how busy I was. And it was all, and people was like, I remember Johnny asked me when he first came, he was like, how do you build your clientele? I was like, God, Like that's how it was. Like I just trusted God and He did the rest for me, and it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, cause it, like you said, some weeks are better than other weeks.
Yeah.
Like some days are better than others. Some days you might cut 6 hairs. Some days you might cut 16.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you never know. Like so that was and then I ended up going back to Lowe's.
Yeah, you did.
I did that for fun. I did that for fun because I was bored. Like I got bored. I did that for fun.
But what was you bored of though? Like,
see,
did you-
I don't
did you
even.
have-
Now I
did you
got
have
to
too
tell
much-
the truth.
Did you have too much time on your hands after you?
Cause I didn't do nothing when I got off. Like I'm a homebody. You know, I'm a homebody.
So why you didn't stay home? Why did you go to work?
Cause I got tired of being home. Like I'm still a homebody to this day. Like when I get off, I go home. Right. So I'm gonna have to tell the truth on the podcast. So you know, working that other job at Lowe's, I was just like taking money and buying, kicks and stuff like that.
So Tyshema is a I don't even want to call her like a sneaker.
I'm not a sneaker.
I don't even want to call her a sneaker. Like she's above that. Like she's like a
No, I'm not.
She's like a shoe guru type deal.
I'm really not.
Like now she has an addiction to shoes. Like for real. Like
I don't.
you do. How many pair of shoes you got? You can't lie. You
I can't lie.
talk to him. Talk to him. Let him know. Let him
I
know.
ain't counting in a
let
minute.
him know I
Okay,
ain't-
somebody
Let him
stole.
know I ain't lying.
Somebody stole some, so I gotta subtract 8. I got about 50 something pairs, maybe a little less.
No, you got more than that.
Nah, I got about 50. I got a little more maybe. Really not, but I was taking that extra money and spending on shoes because I was like, what is money going? What I'm working at Lowe's for?
Yeah.
And I was just buying shoes all the time. That was really it. And then I quit that job
Yeah.
because I just wanted to be free again.
Yeah. So I mean, and to go back to your point of you finally leaving Lowe's, we would always talk, and even when Tyshema would leave, we would always say,
Yeah, they had a bet going on, guys.
yeah, we had a bet going on. Like we honestly didn't think Tyshema was gonna last in the barbershop just because she like I said, she wanted to keep, especially when she went back to Lowe's. When she went back to Lowe's, it was like what is she doing? It's like what is she getting at Lowe's that she can't get here?
That was my business. They was in
And
my
so, but the thing was, and we would always say, where it's like, well, if she just would have stayed a little longer, she would have made up for the money that she making at Lowe's, which, I mean, that was definitely a fact. So, I know for myself, and I think, and we'll kind of go back and touch on what you were saying about, trusting God to actually leave. I mean, I would truly believe that, you ask God for something, you trust in Him that He's going to deliver on it, but you also got to do the work too.
Mm-hmm.
We know that faith without works is dead. So, even with that being said, like you quitting the job, you being here all the time, and not only that, but also marketing yourself, whether it's through, like I said, social media or just word of mouth or whatever the case may be. For myself, me coming into the barbershop when it was my time, as being, like I said, the newbie, I know you said that you were afraid to fail, but for me, it was like my back was against the wall.
Yeah.
I couldn't fail because I knew that I had another mouth to feed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, I'm trusting God, in this, with this journey. But at the same time, I'm leaving it in His hands. But at the same time, I got to make sure that I show up and do my part too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, like I said, because a lot of people don't really know my story whenever it comes. Because I already married and everything. So I literally have a wife and have a baby on the way. And for a long time, I wasn't able to provide for my wife the way that I promised her father that I would do.
Yeah.
And so for me, man, like when I finished up barber school, I really didn't have and I'll say this, and my wife know we've had this conversation, but my wife wasn't supportive. She wasn't supportive of me going to barber school because there was a lot of empty promises that I had made to her before that I didn't deliver on.
Yeah.
And so that's just a little bit of the backstory. I won't go too deep into it, but that's just a little bit of the backstory. As for why, when I came into the barbershop, it wasn't necessarily about, as I said before, the barbershop wasn't updated. It was just kind of like old timey. And it wasn't about that. Like I saw money coming in and out of the barbershop. And so I just knew, like, when I came in, because I mean, I went to barber school with No Grease. I could have stayed with No Grease.
Yeah.
You know, No Grease, obviously, shout out to No Grease, shout out to Damon J and Charlie at No Grease. Y'all definitely been an inspiration for sure to me. And I appreciate everything that you guys shared with me, all that good stuff while I was in barber school, but could have stayed with them. But I never forget that Jay, which he was my instructor, he's the owner, but he was also my instructor in barber school. He told me, he said that what he saw in me, it wouldn't be necessarily appreciated with me staying at No Grease.
Wow.
So he basically told me that he wanted me to go out and try to find a shop that wasn't up under the umbrella of No Grease. Mm-hmm. And he told me, he said, he called me Boykins. That he just, for whatever reason, he called me by my last name. But he told me, he said, with what you have, at the time, I had already been to college. You know what I mean? I had already been to college, had a bachelor's degree in business. So he was like, you're a very unique individual. You know what I mean? I came into barber school kind of already know how to cut hair. So when I was there, I was pretty much, they were helping me with timing and then like the polishing or the detail work. So I knew how to fade and everything. So, but he told me, he said, you're a very unique individual in this case because, like I said, you already know how to cut hair. You have a college degree, which means that you're able to communicate well. You understand time management. You understand all the different things that they teach you in college. And so he said that when you graduate, he said, I'm going to give you 18 months. And I never forget this, the conversation. But he said, within 18 months, you should own a barbershop. I came here.
So, how did you find this barbershop? Like, what led you here?
Scott, actually.
Scott. Okay, I know.
Scott Morrow. I call him my uncle.
Yeah.
My mom and his wife played college basketball together. So I call her my aunt, but we're not really family, but we are family. But he knew that I was in barber school, and Mac, obviously, was his barber at the time. So he knew I was in barber school, and I was talking to him because what I was doing was I was driving from home, from Forest City, coming down here to Charlotte, and sometimes I was spending the night at their house.
Okay.
Just as a place to stay or whatever. And so, I was telling you, I'm in barber school. I got 2 months left. I got, whatever the case may be. And so he was like, man, I gotta, I'm gonna holler at my barber. He's the owner of the shop or whatever. And so Mac actually came and saw me at barber school at No Grease, the barber school, and I chopped it up with him, man. And and he was, basically telling me that, just come by and check the shop out and everything like that. And I did, and so the rest was history whenever it come to how I actually showed up. I
never knew that.
Yeah. So that's how that happened. But it's funny because I truly believe that it was the conversation I had with Jay. It was meant to happen. The conversation I had with Mac, or the conversation I had with Scott, meant to happen. And then obviously the conversation I had with everything played a part. You know what I mean? And so it's crazy because it just so happened that I come to this shop November 1st. I start November 1st of 2018, and literally August, I'm here for 18 months. August 1st, 2020, I bought a shop. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely like it's a testament. You know what I mean? It's a testimony that I have that, and that was initially what I set out to do. Like I always said I wanted to own a shop. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like to the point to where like I've always envisioned like the name of the shop and all that kind of stuff like that. But yeah, I mean it happened for me that way. So I always just knew like when I came, I was like I can't fail. Like
Yeah.
I stay prayed up. You know what I mean? I'm asking literally every night as I'm building my clientele. I'm asking the Lord, just please, just send more people my way. Send more people my way. And it's crazy. And when he actually do it, you like, Lord, I'm tired, Lord. I ain't, I
You have to
appreciate it.
stop.
I appreciate it, but I'm like, I can't.
I ain't complaining.
I ain't complaining, but Lord, I ain't.
We really is complaining, but you be like, oh, sorry,
Yeah,
Lord.
yeah.
Like,
So yeah, I like I said, I was grateful, definitely grateful for it. But yeah, it was definitely an experience for me. And like I said, you know, 5.5 years in the game now. You know what I mean? So almost, yeah, just about 6 years in the game now. And
so when you first bought the shop, how long did it take you to realize, like, dang, this is mine? Like, did it take you a minute, or did it hit you right then, or what?
so as far as honestly, still to this day, I really can't believe it still to this day because it started to kind of hit me some whenever I started to renovate it.
Ah,
When I started to renovate it and make it my own type of, putting my own, little different touches and stuff to it, putting the floor down and adding pool table and all that kind of stuff like that. Like it really started to feel like mine. It's like, wow, like I'm really doing this. You know what I mean? I'm really in business for myself. I don't work for anybody. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it was a great feeling. I mean, obviously, when making the changes and stuff like that, and not the barber, sorry, but the customers would come in and they're like, man, but we love the change that you're making. You know what I'm saying, to the space. Well, the barbers too.
yeah.
And it was just a great feeling. It was a great feeling of just like it's a satisfying feeling. It was definitely a satisfying feeling. And I mean, just over time, making little changes here and there or adding stuff here and there, just to kind of make it what it is now. But definitely not done. But we've come a lot farther than where we were for sure.
You know what's funny? To this day, it's people that I didn't cut for months, even a year or so. They still don't realize we been had these lights on the wall.
Yeah.
It's been about a year or so,
About a year.
right?
Yeah.
They be like, "Oh, when did you get the lights?" And I'm like, "They been up here."
Yeah.
Like it be little stuff they don't even notice. Like that's how you know.
And it is the little stuff, and it's crazy because the little stuff that they don't notice, a lot of times that be the stuff that's some of the most expensive stuff, which is crazy. But it is what it is. I mean, it's once you bring attention to it or bring it to their attention, then it's like, oh, okay, got you. But and it's crazy that you was talking about how people don't notice certain things, but like even with me taking over the shop and just doing renovating or whatever the case may be, still to this day. Like there's people, even some of my clients, and it's crazy. Some people don't even know that I'm the owner.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even know that I'm the owner. And I will say this, I actually learned that from Matt. Believe it or not, you know what I mean? I learned that from the previous owner, Mac. He taught me a lot, to be honest with you. He definitely taught me a lot. But I would watch him a lot of times because I actually, I used to cut, right, like literally sit beside him. I used to cut beside him. But I would watch him a lot of times, and even like when he was the owner, and people would like come in and they would ask for the man in charge or the owner. Like, I would watch how he would sit back a lot of times and just kind of like observe, just to see how, certain barbers are going to react to people asking for that information. But what it does is it allows other people, it allows for you to really observe your barbers and see what type of leadership qualities or skills that they actually have.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, yes, you're in charge or whatever technically, but at the same time, it's nothing like having, I guess I don't really want to say your right hand man or like, I guess like not even like a second like a manager or whatever. Not even that, but like when you have like a group or a crew of barbers that's like everybody is kind of willing to step up and kind of take lead in certain situations, like that's a great feeling. Because kind of like what we talked about last week, or a couple weeks ago with Dr. Williams, the fact of being able to have somebody to be able to step up and take charge, and you not be here, like that's a really great feeling, because ultimately, like I said, if you're taking on that challenge of or the task of wanting to be an entrepreneur, like that's the whole purpose of it. You know what I mean? It's to be able to have people in place to be able to take care of things when you're not there. And so I would watch him a lot of times, and a lot of times, obviously Reese would be the one that's kind of like that, and that's just his personality. Like Reese is, he gonna step up, he gonna take charge, he gonna answer questions, he gonna, somebody asks for the boss, what you
need to know?
What you need to know from the boss, what you need the boss for, type deal. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's crazy because a lot of people don't, and I find myself doing the same thing a lot. I don't know if you realize that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize that, but a lot of times people come in and ask for the boss, like I won't even really say nothing, because I want to see, for one, I want to see what it is that these folks want. Especially if it's somebody that I don't never, that I've never really seen before, and I don't know.
And people be surprised, like they be shocked. I don't know if it's because you look so young. Cause my boy Twan, he was like, when he came in here the other week, and I was like, yeah, that's DB, the owner. He was like, he the owner? Like I was like why? That's everybody's response every time, and I'd be like, why people? I don't know. And then I'd be like, you tell you how old you is, and they'd be like, wow, like that's crazy. Like I don't know why that's everybody. That's what their reaction every time.
And it's crazy that, like I said, that comes from my clientele as well. Like I try to be humble, like as humble as I possibly can whenever it comes to that type of stuff, because I don't want to seem like the guy that's just just gloating around, like I'm running the show, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Because at the end of the day, I don't look at it from that standpoint, especially in terms of barbers. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell y'all all the time, like y'all don't work for me, y'all work with me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like y'all rent a booth. Like I don't have y'all on payroll, so technically I'm not y'all boss.
Right.
You know what I mean? I work with you guys. And that's within the entrepreneurial space. This is one of the endeavors that I wanted to do. Now, my next endeavor, obviously, with the podcast, you know what I'm saying? And we spoke on this too, even last week with Dr. Williams. I do want to get to the point to where I have a team that I employ. You know what I mean? Definitely want to get to the point where I'm able to do that. But I do believe that this was a great starting point for me.
Yeah.
To kind of get my feet wet. I've been in ownership now been cutting hair professionally for going on 6 years, but I've been in ownership now for 3.5 years. So, typically they say that 3 years is kind of like that point to where if you stay in business for 3 years, then you kind of got it figured out, because a lot of businesses fold within the first 3 years. So, I mean, I don't know. I just okay. And we've had this conversation off camera before, or not too long ago, but as far as your endeavors, as far as, is it something that you want to do as far as owning a barbershop, or so I mean, this, like I said, this is an entrepreneur, business owner based podcast, so I know you got some type of endeavors that you want to kind of get into or do.
Yeah. I never really thought about owning like a barbershop until like lately, it's been slow in here. So it'd be like you be sitting there thinking of stuff to do.
Yeah, you have time to think.
Yeah, and so like I think it really hit me, like I want to do I don't know if I want to do like a barbershop, but I don't know. I think I limit myself to certain stuff, which I shouldn't. And like I can do more than what I want to do, but I feel like I limit myself too much. So I think eventually I do want to own a barbershop, but it's just for me, it's the thought of, dang, I ain't never done nothing like that. So I don't know how to hit me.
Yeah.
Like,
And like you said, I mean, I was in that space too, for sure. It's kind of like you come in, it's like, well, my situation was a little bit different because I came in, or I was almost kind of like grandfathered into a situation to where I didn't have to start from ground up.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so what it does is it makes it easier because the only thing that you kind of have to worry about, which it wasn't too bad for me because I had already been working with a lot of the other guys already for like 18 months, 2 years, 18 months to 2 years. So I was comfortable with them. You know what I mean? They were comfortable with me. They knew how I move. I knew how they move. So it wasn't as bad. But when I came in, it was a lot of times you start to think like, all right, I start changing stuff around, man. Like, what are they? How are they gonna feel about the changes? Especially when you have people that's been here for a minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are they gonna be cool with change? You know what I'm saying? How do I act towards them now that I'm the owner? You know what I mean? Like, are we still cool? Are we still buddy buddy? Are we? You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of stuff that you have to kind of worry about. And the thing is, like, fortunately, this is a career field where the barbershop is just that cool environment. So I don't have to really change the way I act, or they don't have to change the way, or y'all don't have to change the way that y'all act towards me because this is that type of environment.
Yeah.
But the difference is if it was a different type of business where I actually, and it goes back to what I was saying about actually employing people. If I actually was in a situation to where I employ people, now it has to be a little bit different because now there's certain things that I can't do that maybe y'all do. Because if me being the face, if I get in trouble, if I go down, now y'all paychecks go down. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, if we really being realistic, like y'all could leave and go to another shop, and your clientele probably gonna go with you. But if we were in a situation to where it was a company or whatever the case may be, and I was the face, and I got hit with a DUI or something like that, and I'm locked up.
Yeah.
So it's going to tarnish that reputation of the company, which it affects y'all.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? With the way that it's set up now, I would take the hit, but y'all wouldn't really be affected if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's just those type of things, but so it's just you just gotta kind of weigh it out. Like I said, my advice to you, if that's something that you do want to do in the future, it's gonna be situational. If you have an opportunity to where you can walk into something that's kind of already established or whatever the case may be, then it's gonna be that much easier for you. It's pretty much like turnkey, as they would say. It's a turnkey business. You're gonna come in making money just like that. Boom, 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 boom. So as opposed to start from ground up, you got to do marketing, you got to do all this different kind of stuff like that to get people to even come into the building. You know what I mean? It's that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely something to think about for sure. Definitely something to think about. So I got another question. I got another question for you in terms of barbers. So what qualities or what skill set do you feel would make a individual a very successful barber? What qualities or skill set do you feel like an individual should have in order to be considered a very successful or a great barber?
Communication. That's like key. Like, it's definitely key. And like, especially with like consultation. I feel like if you got great communication skills, then the consultation gonna be easy peasy. Cause once you get that consultation down, it's like already know like what they want without
Moving
do
forward. Yeah. The next time they come in,
like even when you do cutting.
Well, for the first time too.
Cause I done got people plenty of times. I ask questions a lot, and they be like, "Dang." Yeah. And I know you didn't got it too. Like, you ask them questions, they be like, "Ain't nobody never asked me that." Yeah. Like, or is it been so long? Because they be like, oh, I just sit in the chair, my barber cut my hair, whatever. Whatever. But communication is definitely key.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. So time management, timeliness, are definitely some of the qualities I think that is definitely valuable. I think that communication is definitely a big thing, which it kind of goes hand in hand with customer service. So I think that customer service is the biggest thing because customer service is kind of like the umbrella and everything else kind of goes into it to me.
That's true.
Because, you know, being on time, that kind of goes up on the umbrella, obviously communication part. But I tell people all the time, man, like when I was in barber school, shout out to Jay again too for this. Like Jay used to drop so many gems to us, like and it's a lot of stuff that they would say it would be repetitive, and I didn't understand why they were repeating it so much. But looking back on it now, 6 years out of barber school, like it sticks with me. You know what I mean? And a lot of this stuff just comes back up. But Jay would always tell me, he said, one thing you got to understand when you got in a barbershop or just get out into the barber industry in itself, you have to understand that you're not in the barber industry. You're in the people industry. And you have to understand and learn how to deal with people because everything is not going to always be somebody comes in, get into your chair, you cut their hair, and you get paid. Sometimes there are going to be certain things going to happen that it might not necessarily be in your control that is going to make that individual not want to pay you. Or something is going to happen that is going to rub that individual the wrong way. It could be something that's going on in the barbershop. It could be something, they can get into an argument with another client in the barbershop or another barber in the barbershop. You know what I mean? Like, and you have to understand how to diffuse situations. And you also have to understand how to accommodate that customer so that ultimately at the end of the day, you can get paid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I think that I've had actually had a few instances where things would happen and that was for the most part, I mean, some of them was out of my control, but some of them like it was on me. But I've had instances to where the communication side of things was so good and I accommodated my client, even though there might have been something that I did wrong, they still paid me.
Yeah.
And they came back.
I'm in a situation like that last week. She paid, or they paid, but it was, I don't want to say it wasn't my communication. It wasn't on my part. It was on their part because they waited hours later and, texted me.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not even that type of barber. Like, talk to me now.
Right.
And then we'll figure it out. Don't wait till later.
Yeah.
And it happened twice, like back to back. So like that really hurts my soul. Like it bothers me because I know what type of person I am, So communication goes both ways also.
That's true.
It goes both ways.
That's true.
And
I will say this. One thing that I had to learn is that every client is not my client.
Yeah.
I had to learn that because sometimes it doesn't matter how good your communication is, how good your customer service is. Sometimes you're going to have certain people that just sit in your chair and they going to get on your last nerve to the point to where it's like, you know what? Yeah, you don't got to come back.
Yeah.
Like,
and if they don't,
you can go to somebody else. Like it's okay. It's okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
it's
I
okay.
had to learn, and I'm never the barber that always, I think my problem, I ain't gonna say my problem because it's not a problem. Like, I love all my clients. I love every person that sits in my chair. And then you build this relationship with them. Like, I built this relationship with this guy and his son, and they came to me for about a year and a half, and they just stopped. And I texted him, like it wasn't, hey, come back. It was like, hey, I thought about you.
Yeah.
Hope you guys are doing fine. He never responded. Then like weeks later, his wife came and brought their son. And he never still texted me back. And I haven't seen them. So, and then like kind of hurt my heart because I'm like, dang. Like, it ain't that I'm mad, but it's like you build a relationship with them. And you kind of, that's like your peoples.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's your peoples.
I've had situations like that as well. I mean, like I said, I've been cutting hair professionally now 6 years, and I've had a lot. Believe it or not, I've had a lot of people like that. Like, I started out cutting their hair first year or two. Won't see him for a year and a half, 2 years, and then I just out of the blue they'll pop up again, like, and it's like, yo, where you you didn't move or anything like that, like you didn't go off to
Yeah.
college, you still stay on this side of town, like what happened, especially if like you said, if we built that relationship, and they don't have a, I went somewhere else, blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not, and so because I'm confident in my skill set, I know that I can cut your hair. Like every time I cut your hair, like you like, yeah, brother, you know what I'm saying, you give it up. But I'm like, yo, bro, like what happened? Like you just
It's like you don't care, but you do care.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's just like, yo, we're building this relationship, like,
Yeah.
like, where you been, like,
That it bothers me sometimes.
yeah, it can get to you. But one thing I realize about the barber game is you can't wear your feelings on your sleeve.
Yes, you can't be sensitive. You cannot be
No,
sensitive.
you can't do that.
You can't, because if you are, it's not for you.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not for you.
Definitely gotta have tough skin in the barbershop, man.
Especially with our barbers,
Yeah. It's a lot.
But, yeah.
It's a lot that go on in the barbershop. It's a lot of joking and
But I do
Real
want to
different type
say
of
this. I ain't the mushy type. I ain't that type. But I do, from the bottom of my heart, I do want to thank you for the opportunity, because it absolutely changed my life. Like my first day coming, just from talking to you, you never asked like, "Let me see your haircuts. Let me see," because back home, I went to like 3 or 4 barbershops, and they never asked to see my work, but they was like, "Oh, let me take your number. I'll give you a call." Nobody never called. But when I came to you, we sat right there and we talked, and you was like, "When you want to start tomorrow?" Like that, like, and you like welcome me with open arms, and it's like being here changed my life. It changed my way of thinking. It changed the way I want to move in life, like
Right.
what I want to do in life, like what I want to be. Like I'm still finding myself, but like I have like I have a vision now.
better
Like,
understanding.
Yeah, so it's like I do want to thank you for opening your arms.
I appreciate it, man. You
You
made me shed a tear.
And you guys, like, I love
Yeah.
y'all. Y'all my brothers, man.
Yeah, and I didn't even say early on, but Shima, me and Shima, we've become very close. She's actually one of the godmothers of my youngest daughter. So this is my sis. I'm big bruh.
/ dad.
I'm big bruh.
/ dad. He thinks he my
I
dad.
gotta look out for her for sure.
Lord
look out for
have mercy.
I told mama I was gonna look out for you. And Pops,
Child.
we gotta look out for you.
He think he my daddy, y'all. I'm trying to tell you.
I'm big bruh. That's all. I'm big bruh. All right. Last question. And
I feel like I know what this question is.
what is it? Guess then. Go ahead. Take a jab at it.
How does it feel being the only girl in the barbershop?
No,
Was that the question?
it wasn't a question.
Oh, okay.
But we can expand. You can expand on that too. You go ahead. You can.
I love it. I absolutely love it because I grew up with 5 brothers. So it's like,
It's no different. Really.
it's not. It's like the jokey, all the joking and the playing, and the only thing is y'all be serious when y'all be talking to me about dudes. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's the whole
y'all. Y'all don't even know. I be getting grilled so bad.
That's the whole point. We supposed to.
They be grilling me so bad about dudes.
Cause we don't want to see you on a serious tip. We don't want to see you come from a country town. If we just being real, right? You come from a country town, and you in the city now. Number one, city boys are different than the boys you grew up with. Like they move differently. You know what I mean? And so it's one of those things to where, because we've been around it, and at certain points of time, that might have been who we were.
Right.
You know what I mean? we know what they coming with. And the thing is like we look at you as like our sister, so we don't want nobody to take advantage of you in that type of way because we know where you come from. And on top of that, if you gotta understand too, and especially this is the way I think as an owner, but not to say that you would ever get to that point, but there's been I've literally seen like where dudes like they take a girl down through there, like and a girl will literally like won't be eating, like they won't be like it's a lot of different stuff. Like once you get to that point, or once a male gets you to that point, and it can go both ways, females too. But once you get to that point, it affects everything. And so I never wanted to be a situation to where, you end up getting with somebody and they do that to you, and then like it affects your work.
Yeah.